there and welcome to this video. I'm super excited to bring you yet another interesting video that will definitely add some value as I'm getting some feedback. So today we are going to look at secret. There's a question I got recently where someone was saying, so-and-so doesn't make too much money, but somehow he seems to have made it in life. You know, he looks like he's one of those people who is earning so much money. And this person was wondering, how can that person be earning that range of, income, yet he looks exceptionally successful compared to his peers or people in the same profession? And today I want to address that point. Remember, we all have 24 hours a day to work with. Some people make use of it effectively, while other people waste a lot of it. So today, the point I'm going to share will be all around how you can be more productive. All right, let's get into it. All right, let's look at this. Have you ever heard of the 90-91 rule? Have you ever heard of it? This is a rule. If you follow it diligently, you will become more productive and even more successful. And you will never question yourself when someone even earning less than you seems living a much better life than you, because this rule is applicable to everyone, irrespective of what you earn, and you can achieve anything in life. So never ever get, annoyed or even jealous of those people earning more than you, because they could be earning more than you, but if they are not applying this particular rule, then they may never get where they're going, and they may actually even get jealous of you because you're making it in life and you're applying this particular rule. So these are rules that will help you 10x your productivity and become more successful. Let's first define it. This definition comes from Robin Sharma. Robin Sharma is an author and a motivational speaker. You can Google him and find out more about him. What he says is that for the next 90 days, spend the first 90 minutes of each workday working on your single most important opportunity to move the needle in your industry. What does that mean? It means that you have these mega goals that you set for yourself. A lot of people set some goals at the beginning of the year. Unfortunately, they kind of forget them by the month of March, like around this time. Instead of revising that goal and aligning it properly so that they can work on it for the next 10 months that are remaining of the year, they kind of lose motivation. Robin Sharma is advising us to be very intentional in what we do, that in the next 90 days, if you want to achieve something, ensure that that one single thing that you want to work for you, give it priority and make sure that you work on it as the first thing every morning, and when your mind is fresh, right? In fact, there's another book that we shared in our Fab Life community about a year ago, and it was written by Brian Tracy, and it was about how to, start with the ugliest frog in the morning, right? The book is called Eat That Frog, and we're discussing it in our Fab Life group. And what, again, Brian Tracy was saying is that every morning, start with that hardest task. Give it 2 to 3 hours every morning. And then Robin Sharma adds to it, do this for the next 90 days. So assume you have this goal that you've been wanting to achieve something, and you're learning perhaps how to do it. Perhaps you don't even have all the information. Give it 90 days and give it your utmost best. Research about it, keep working at it, keep modifying it for the next 90 days. And what Robin Sharma is saying is that you truly change your life for the better and definitely become a lot more productive. Secondly, research has shown that most hours or morning hours are when you are most productive, most focused, most energetic, and in fact, you have utmost willpower at that point in time. So make sure that those morning hours, whichever, whether it's from 6 a.m. or from 9 a.m., it's up to you to figure out which are these morning hours for you. Some people wake up very early, 4 a.m., and by perhaps 8 a.m., they have actually completed all those big tasks. And from 8 o'clock, perhaps they can even go and jog or even join other people and do some other teamwork, right? So it's up to you to define what is that morning hours for you, and then what are these mega projects for yourself that you have broken down into some tasks, and you want those tasks completed in the next 90 days. So make sure you allocate that. Secondly, tight bubbles of total focus. What that means is that a tight bubble is it's like you are allocating a specific time when there's no noise and the environment is clean. You're not taking up phone calls, you're not replying to emails, you're not even checking your social media, and in fact, there's even no background music. These are some of the things that distract you. They cause a lot of distractions when you're working, and sometimes when you're trying to slay this dragon, the biggest task for yourself, you may want to get rid of all these things. So a lot of people, what they do is that they allocate a few days in a week, and for those 2-3 days, they are at most working on those particular tasks, and they do not even pick calls, they don't check emails. Some people actually allocate hours within a day. Yeah. Research has shown that we spend approximately 2.5 hours per day in distraction, and it takes 21 minutes to refocus after a distraction. So when you're distracted by some of these things, what it means is that you are really wasting a lot of time, and you're not even able to focus on your tasks, and perhaps even your 90 days, that you've allocated to achieve a certain mega task, you may not even be able to achieve it. So what I'm saying right now is that instead of allocating days when you don't pick emails or pick phones or even read emails, you can allocate certain hours of the day. For example, if you choose to be waking up at 4 a.m. and by 8 a.m. you have completed all the mega tasks, that is a very good time. Nobody will call you at that time. That is also a very good time. Nobody will distract you. If you have small children, they are asleep, and by the time they wake up, you're actually completing your first task that morning. You'll be able to drop them in school and get back to the house and perhaps do other things or even go shopping. So it's up to you to find out whether it's early morning, whether it's late evening, whether it's in the middle of the day, when you do not want any distraction. Sometimes during the day, a lot of people will call you, and sometimes there are some emergencies that perhaps you may need to pick immediately, depending on what type of job that you do. So be very hard to reach during key times of the week or the times that you have allocated to to concentrate, or those tight bubbles that you have actually created for yourself. It's those special moments that you've ensured that even where you work from, it's not messy and there are no noises, no distractions, and you've even kept your phones very well, away from yourself. All right. So this is another way to ensure that you are more productive. What do you need to do then? Set aside creative days each week. Make sure it's device free. Make sure you're hard to find at that time, and then use a minimalist room to do your best work. What that means is that minimalist is actually removing all distractions. There are no books all over or cluttered and everything, because sometimes even clutter around us sometimes causes clutter in our own minds, and you start getting distracted by some books or some music that's around you. Make sure it's completely distraction free, and this is the only way you can start slaying that dragon or that big thing or that big project that you've been wanting to work on. And give it 90 days. In fact, that is my only advice. But make sure that you do this every day. Then choose your peer group really well. Yeah, this is another thing that can help you make sure that you're more productive. Because if you hang around a certain number of people, let's say the closest people that you hang around with, you become the next person of that type. If let's say you hang around with very hardworking people, business-minded, people who are focused, you'll actually be the next one, even if you haven't reached there, right? So choose people who are a little bit ahead of you and who are heading the direction that you want to go. Because sometimes we spend so much time with people who cannot help us, with people who look at us as though we are gods for them. They just need help from us. There's nothing wrong with helping other people, but choose your top 5 people, friends, who are a little bit better than you and who can help you actually even in brainstorming and coming up with better ideas. So your peer group or your social circle is at the level that you want to be playing. It's what you should have. And then normally, subconsciously, we mirror the behavior of the dominant people around us. If you're with successful people, you'll be mirroring that particular demeanor in yourself. If you have lazy people, gossipers and all that, definitely soon or later, you will actually be the next gossiper in town, all right? And lastly, we normally pick emotions of the people we surround ourselves with. Have you ever realized that when you are surrounded by people who complain too much, sometimes you feel uncomfortable if you are not that type that complains, right? You feel a little uncomfortable when too many people are talking, bringing out too much negative energy. So because the emotions around you will subconsciously somehow affect you. So ensure that you're either alone or with people who share your values, who are more optimistic, who are focused, who are goal-oriented. Make sure you're focused, you're surrounding yourself with the right people. As you work on your 90 days plan to be able to achieve that mega goal that you always wanted to achieve, make sure you also are in the right environment, surrounded by the right people. And if you do not have any, perhaps you could talk to us. And we have Fab Life Group. Those are business people, focused people who are building their businesses. Some are starting, some started a year or two ago. Others are even crafting new ideas and modifying to be able to move to the next level. So you can let us know if you want to join our Fab Life group. All right. And minimalism is learned, okay? Because it helps in being productive by being, by ensuring that where you work from and what is around you is not clutter. All right. So you're always advised to declutter environment. Make sure your wardrobe, your shoes rack, your house generally is not cluttered. Your office as well. Shred all those old files that you no longer use, you no longer open, right? Focus on projects for a full year. In fact, you're advised select just 2 to 3 mega projects per year. If you're spending the first 90 days trying to change something and hit a certain goal, then how many 90 days do you have in a year? Could be around 4. Yeah, 90 times 4, the year is over. So what we're saying is that you cannot have more than 3 or more than 4 projects in a year that are really mega, that you really want to make a change in. So just focus on a few projects. Do not just do anything and everything that comes your way, because sometimes all that, diverts you from achieving what you intended to achieve from the word go. Identify just a few high value clients and focus on those. Sometimes we give too much attention with people who are looking for discounts and more discounts and more discounts. Those people will never buy. They're just wasting your time, right? In fact, people who will buy from you and buy that expensive product or service, they don't argue. You just, explain to them what the characteristics of that project or that product is, and they make decisions very quickly. These people who are asking for another, additional information, another discount, sometimes they don't end up buying. So be very careful on how you spend your time with your potential clients or potential customers, because some of these people, yes, but you always get some good high value clients. You better have none than just picking any client, because sometimes even those people who do not pay you enough money, they actually give you the hardest time, and they complain a lot, and they miss out on sessions that you have booked with them. So just concentrate on those people who are actually paying you enough so that you can be happy, right? Because the secret to genius is not complexity, it's actually simplicity. So as you actually speak with your clients or with your customers, ensure that you're as simple as possible. Do not be too complicated. Even if what you do for them is a complex type of a project, be very simple in the way you express yourself and the way you explain what you do. Because this is the idea of learned minimalism. It's in language, in your demeanor, in your environment, decluttering, just all this come together and bring this kind of productivity or ultra productivity in your life. All right, so that's all I had for you today. And going forward, what are you going to do in the next 90 days? All right, what is it you've always wanted to do that you haven't done in the last 2 months? Remember, 2 months of the year 2022 are over. You only have 10 months to go. What did you achieve in the last 2 months? What did you want to achieve you haven't achieved? Can you please plan in the next 90 days and ensure that you achieve at least one mega goal that you have for 2022? All right, thank you so much for listening, and I will stop there. See you in the next video, and comment below. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe and ensure that you click on that bell so that you get, to be notified when I upload new videos every Saturday morning. It's a pleasure having you today, and it's a goodbye for now.